Hi, this is Jeremy Moskowitz, Group Policy MVP and founder of PolicyPak software. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can set up the least privileged manager helper tools that will enable your end users to modify and manage their own printers, remove programs, and manage their own network connections. We have another video showing how the tools operate from an end user perspective. This video is all about how to set up the tools. So the tools are installed automatically when our client-side extension is installed. You'll find the tools in C, Program Files, PolicyPak, Least Privilege Manager, Tools. Now, it's not Program Files x86, it's Program Files because these tools are valid on both 32-bit and 64-bit machines. Okay, so keep this location handy. C, Program Files, PolicyPak, Least Privilege Manager, Tools. It's going to come up time and time again. Okay, so the first thing you'll note is that if you just try to run it as a standard user, it's not going to do very much. For instance, you go to PolicyPak Tools Programs here and you try to uninstall, say, this Java thing by right-clicking and uninstalling. What happens? It asks if you want to do it, and you're prompted for UAC prompt. The goal is to elevate this using, you're never going to believe it, Least Privilege Manager. That's right. Okay, so hold on to that for a second. All right, same thing for the other tools. If you want to go to the network connections, okay, and you want to change, your stat, you're going to get prompted for UAC prompt until it's elevated. Okay, and then the last thing, of course, is going to be the printers tool. Same gist. If you wanted to try to change, things that required admin rights, you're still going to be prompted for UAC. So you have to elevate each of the tools using PolicyPak Least Privilege Manager. That's part one. The second thing you might want to do is actually put these tools in the Start menu here. That's a choice. Okay, and you can use PolicyPak Start Screen and Taskbar Manager to do that. And the third thing you might want to do, part three, is that you might want to put these tools as shortcuts maybe on the desktop, something like that. This is going to be kind of a long video, and I'm going to show you all three things. So kind of strap in. This is kind of going to be a long kind of video. Okay. Now, what you may want to do is do your creation from a machine that has the PolicyPak admin tools on it that also has the client-side extension. Okay. So in order to do that, I'm going to go over to this machine. This is my domain controller, but really it's my management machine. To make things a little easier for this video, I've installed the client-side extension on the domain controller where normally you would not have to do that ever, not ever. I'm doing it specifically so I can make it easier for me to touch the files, okay, and create, so that way I can create the rules for it in regards to the Start Screen Manager and so on. You could also just use your garden variety Windows 10 machine or Windows 7 machine or whatever to create the PolicyPak policies from. I'm just going to keep using my management station over here. But in real life, you would not have to normally install the client-side extension on the domain controller. You'd have to install it on your management station. Just in my case, my domain controller happens to be my management station. All right, clear? Okay, just want to make sure we're on the same page. So the first thing we're going to do on our management station is for, let's say, all of our sales or East sales or whatever. So let's say all of our sales computers, we want to elevate these tools, enable all of our sales team to be able to do the magical things that these utilities do. So we're going to create a GPO and link it here. I'll call this PPLPM Tools Elevation. Okay, Tools Elevation. All right, so click Edit here. And you're going to use the Least Privilege Manager stuff. I'm going to do this on the computer side, okay? You could do it on user side as well, but I actually think this is probably, actually it really doesn't matter. You could say wherever Johnny goes, Johnny has the ability to do this, or you could say this gaggle of computers can do this thing. It's up to you. I'm going to do this on the computer side. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll add a new executable policy, okay? And I'm going to use a combo rule, okay? My combo rule is going to say, look, when it's signed by the PolicyPak guys and the file info matches either the printers or the network or the other utility, in that case, then we're good to go. So I'm going to use two factors here. I'm also going to apply to child processes, so that way if something is trying to be uninstalled or you're trying to install a driver or whatever, then it'll keep working all the way down the line. So so these are the three checkboxes: signature, file info, and applied to child processes. Then I'm going to select a reference file. Now again, this machine, the one I'm on, has the client-side extension to make this demo go easier. So that's C program files, okay, under PolicyPak, under least privilege manager, tools, okay, there are the tools, and we're going to add them one by one. We'll start off with network connections, okay, and do we want to automatically fill the values in for the file conditions? Let's say yes, okay, and when we do that, boom, you can see the signature picks it up that it's PolicyPak, and the file info condition picks it up that it's the name, the underlying name, and we're going to say equals or later, higher or equals, okay? So really don't care what version, okay? So we'll say higher or equals. And now this way, only this program will be elevated, which is what we want. Okay, run it with elevated privileges. Go ahead and click next. And that's it, we're good to go. And we just have to do this 2 more times. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing for the other tools. I'll use a combo rule here. I'm going to do, again, signature and file info. I'm going to pick my reference file. I'm going to pick my printers tool this time, PolicyPak Tools Printers, fill in the information for file info condition, okay, and I'm going to make it higher or equals, okay, there we go, and I'm going to do this, run with elevated privileges. I'll do this one more time. Add, new executable rule, combo rule again. I'm going to go for signature and file info again. And I'm going to pick my last one, which is the programs. I'm going to automatically fill it in. Go to file info condition, and again, last time we're going to go to higher or equals. Okay, so go ahead and click next. Run with elevated privileges. Bing, bang, bang, and we're good to go. Let's just stop here and make sure this works. Okay, so just to prove a point, okay, if I were to go to network connections this very second and try to go to the properties here, I'm going to get a UAC prompt. Now that I've got everything all set up properly in group policy and least privilege manager land, let's run GP update here. Okay, we're going to take on the elevation of these items. Okay, give this a minute to finish up. Okay, now that this is all done, we're going to double click on the application. 10 seconds ago, we tried to go to properties and we got the UAC prompt. Now this time we get, bam, we're in. So now if we wanted to do things like uncheck IPv6 or change the IP address or whatever we wanted to do, boom, that would let us through. If we wanted to go to the programs item here and we wanted to uninstall an item that maybe we didn't want to have, like this old and crusty version of Java, right click and uninstall. And are you sure you want to do that thing? And there it goes down the line. Okay. Actually, I'm also going to show you how to use the ADMX settings, how to trim the items that are here in the programs view, so you don't have to make it so that every user will can see every application. Okay, I'll show you how to do that at the very end of the video. Again, this is going to be a long video. Sorry about that. Okay. And then the last thing would be printers. I'm not going to do too much here. I'm not going to add a new printer, but you could add a new printer. Say this is a printer that wasn't listed. You could pick, add a printer with local settings, all the stuff, and then add a driver and so on. And this will just sail through, but it wouldn't work until it's elevated. And now it is elevated. Okay, that ends part 1. Okay, the second part of this is, like I said, you might want to make a group for this in the start screen. So how are we going to do that? Let's go to Start Screen Manager, okay? And you could do this again on the computer side or the user side. I'll do it on the computer side here. So I'm going to add a new collection and call, the collection name itself doesn't really matter. That's totally fine. Let's go ahead and create a group. Okay, we'll create a group called PPLPM Helper Tools. Okay, and now at this point, we'll right-click, add a new desktop application tile, and let's go ahead and do custom, okay? So custom, because this application isn't registered, which means it's not actually installed in the operating system. So we have to point an icon to it. So let's go ahead and do the network connections one first, okay? And here's the shortcut and the shortcut name. Okay, so this is the thing that's actually going to be called. So we'll call this Manage Your Net Card. Okay, how's that for an item name? All right, go ahead and click next, and we'll give it that groovy little icon there. We'll call this PP Network card. Then we'll add another one here. Again, it's got to be custom application. Let's select the printers item, and we'll call this manage your printers. Okay. Next, icon, next, PP printers. And then we'll do another one, right click, add new desktop application tile again. Oops, add new desktop tile, custom, and then we'll select the last one, which is the add remove program. So we'll call this remove some of your apps. Okay, obviously you can call it whatever you want. All right, so in this way, all right, I've now, I'm going to say pp remove apps. All right, great. So now in this way, what I want to see happen is it's going to create a group. So let me go ahead and run GP update here. Okay, let's go ahead and give this a minute to finish up. And when this does, we should have a new groovy group all about these things. So it'll be elevated and it will have its own little group in the start menu. Let's go ahead and see that work. Boom, right there. So there we go. Those are our three little helper tools. So if we wanted to click on Manage Your Net Card, which is what I called it, now at this point, right click and go to Properties. Bingo, you can do the things you want to do, okay, and so on. All three of the tools are there. You don't have to put all three tools there, but they are there, which makes it super nice and convenient. If you wanted to do something similar and put this, say, on the desktop or in a group on the desktop, so maybe I'll create a folder called PP Tools, okay? So getting the links into this PP Tools folder is actually a little bit more complicated than I want to get into here. It's actually done all through Group Policy Preferences. I'm not going to do it here. I'll have another video to do that another time. So let me go ahead and kill this PP Tools folder. But the last thing I want to show you here, now that we've got our tools all set up, is how to use the ADMX files to trim what applications users can uninstall, right? So for instance, let's say you wanted to let them uninstall only things from Microsoft, but not everything from Microsoft. How would we do that? Well, we have ADMX files that enable you to both blacklist and whitelist the items that you want. So by way of example, if you wanted to, let's say somebody is in charge of UPS Quick Ship or whatever, some custom application, you can show just those applications here. Okay, that's a choice. Or you can show everything from everything that has certain name match. You'll see it in just a second. So let me go back over to my management station. So you'll have to update to the latest ADMX files that we give you in the download. So here in the ADMX troubleshooting folder is our policy definitions. Okay, so you're going to want to take our definitions. I'll move them over here and I'll put the sysvol domain name policies policy definitions folder. And you're going to want to always be using our latest greatest policy definitions. Just replace whatever you currently have in your central store, and this will give you the latest greatest things that you can do in the ADMX world. In fact, let me close the group policy object and re-edit it. So here's the same GPO we've been manipulating this whole time. Now I'm just going to see new settings under computer side or user side, policies, admin templates, PolicyPak, and client-side extensions, and we're looking for least privilege manager. Okay, and here are the two policies you're after. Configure program names to include or exclude from the PolicyPak Programs Manager tool, or configure publisher names to include or exclude. So let's go ahead and click on program names. All right, so the way that this works is that you click on enabled here and you click on show, and now you've got this little table here. So let's say you only wanted to show things with Microsoft. So let's do that. So what we'll do is we'll say star Microsoft star, and we want to show that. That will be a 1. Programs with a specified name are going to be shown. Let's just see this, okay, in action, because this is important. So you can see all the things here are available right now. Go ahead and close that out. I'll now run GP update. I'll get the latest greatest settings here. Give this a second to finish. And before I saw everything, okay, but I said nope. I only want to see programs with the word Microsoft in it. So let's go ahead and see what happens now. Let's go ahead and click on my remove some of your apps shortcut here, and boom, these are the items that said that they had Microsoft in it, and this will work just fine. So if I wanted to get rid of this thing, just to demonstrate it, let's see what happens. There we go. I can do that. And if I wanted to limit this even further, okay, I could whitelist specific things. For instance, let's say I wanted to whitelist only Microsoft Advanced Group Policy Management Client. Okay, that's fine. So what I'll do is I will go back here to the setting here, and I want to have the name with the word advanced. Okay, and I want to actually, let's say actually, let's do this a different way. Sorry, I misspoke. What I really want to say is I want to get rid of, I want to hide the ones that are all these C++ redistributables, leaving only the Microsoft Advanced Group Policy Management Client. Fine. So if I want to do that, well, all these things have in common the word C++. Okay, great. So let's go ahead and take the name star C++ star, and I want to hide it with a 0. Okay. Now those will be hidden. Okay, so I'll go ahead and save that policy. Whoops. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right, there we go. And now, okay, I've got all these things. Let's run GP update one more time here. Okay, so at first I had everything. Then I showed only the Microsoft things. Now I'm limiting it even more, and I should only have one program left. Okay, and let's go ahead and see what happens if I run my utility here. Bingo. So the idea is that user, if this was UPS Quick Ship or some mathematical application or some bank app, you can make it so that the user can elevate, install it, and now elevate, right click, uninstall it, and not be able to see all the things that you might, generally make available. Come on, that's amazing. I think it's amazing. I hope you do too. Let's do another experiment with publishers. So what I'll do is I'm going to disable this setting. Okay, so not configure it rather. Okay, this should show me all the applications again. Okay, let's see that that's true. Okay, GP update. So I just want to prove that all the items are here. All right, give us a second to finish up. So let's rerun our utility here, and let's see. Okay, and here's everything again. Now, if you wanted to, again, you could limit not just by name, but by this column, publisher. So if you wanted to go bananas and show, say, only things from Oracle, you can see, in fact, Oracle has two different types here. They've got Oracle Corporation and Oracle without the word corporation. You can do that. So what we'll do is we'll go back to the policy here, and you can now use publisher names. Okay, so this isn't like the CN equals style names. This is just the name that you saw here, that you saw on that line. So if you wanted to do something like star Oracle star, and you wanted to only show those, okay, that would be boom. That's one. The specified publishers are displayed and allowed to be changed or uninstalled. Okay, you could do that. Bang. All right, and now if we were to run GP update here, okay, instead of showing everything, we're going to be limiting only by the publisher's name, not the product name, the publisher's name. So go back over here, go back to remove some of your apps here, and boom. Amazing. I love this. This is like my favorite new thing. And if you wanted to, a user can click uninstall, and because this program has been elevated, which was the first thing we did, we were able to get it to do what we want to do. So now you can create rules that enable users to install stuff and uninstall stuff. They can modify their network cards. They can modify the printers. I showed you earlier how to use the Start Screen Manager to put things on the Start menu. And finally, at the end of it, I showed you now how to use the ADMX to limit what programs can be uninstalled using the uninstaller. I know this was a long video, but I hope this helps you get it all set up all the way end to end. I will have another video in case you're curious how to use group policy preferences to create a folder on the desktop and shove items into it, those items being the PolicyPak tools, in case you wanted to have a little folder here called manage your stuff or whatever you wanted. Okay, anyway, that's it for this video. I've talked long enough. I'll let you get back to it. Thank you very much for being a PolicyPak customer, and talk to you soon.